Welcome again, my friends. You're probably confused by the title. Don't worry, I'm gonna explain everything from the start to finish and we set up everything. So let's start with an idea. So let me open the browser. As you see, we have this h1 right here in the body. If I go back to pages and then index, remember we have this h1 that has the class name red, okay? If I went back in the styles and then globals, there is something that's called variables in CSS or SAS. So to have a variable in SAS, you simply can use the $sign and then you can call it for whatever, like for example red color, okay? And then you can give it like a value, like for example red. So variables are used like heavily on CSS because they actually make your life easier. Because if you have, for example, let me change this for like a random hex value, as you see, like for example this one, and as you see, you're not going to be able to remember this value all the time, so you store it in a variable and you just call this variable anytime you want. And also if you want to change that value, you don't have to change it for all, you can simply go to that variable and change it there, and it's going to change for all. So for example, if I went to the body and I wanted the background to be the red color and then simply save, I go back and I see the body change color to that. So this is the first thing that you need to understand. If I went, for example, to the home model.scss and I told you the h1 had class name red, so I want to change the color for that h1. So if I went color and then the red color, what am I doing? Red color and save. If I go back to the browser, we're gonna get an error which says undefined variable, because as I told you before, models only know everything inside it, not outside it. So everything outside doesn't count. So what people used to do is simply they go and create like another file, for example, let's call it base.scss, and then I'm gonna take the variable from here, which is the red color. I'm gonna go back to the base and paste it, and I'm gonna also remove it from here, okay? So we only have it on the base. And people used to go to the home and actually just import it. So import, this is SAS, and then import it from the same route, which is base.scss. Let me add comma right here. Okay, so now if you go back, it's gonna work. But imagine we're gonna have a lot of files and we're gonna have a lot of CSS files, so we're not gonna go to every single file and start importing. That's just gonna be a bad idea, because it's gonna be a lot of times you have different paths, we're gonna have folders in the components and stuff, and it will be annoying to always import that file so you can get access to those variables. So there is another way which stands, let me remove the base from here like that. Okay, so it's just to add the imports to all the files, but not manually, but automatically. We're gonna do that from the next config. So we're gonna go to every CSS file and add that import that we added it right here. This one, where is it? Not here. That we added it right here, which is this one. I'm gonna add it to the first place of any file that we have. So let me just show you how to do that. So we are now in the next config. We wanna add some SAS options to SAS options. Okay, you know that the next config is right here. I don't know if I told you that. So right here we're gonna have some options. So the first one is gonna be including the paths that we're gonna get the files from. So include paths. So it's gonna be an array. So the path, simply our first path, our only path right now, is gonna be inside the styles folder. So we wanna get the folder that we are right now, or the path that we are in, and then we're gonna just go to the styles folder. So to get the actual path, we can use just path from Node.js. This is simply, we don't need to install it, so require path. Okay, and then we simply can use that and then join. So this simply is gonna add the current path to the styles folder. So simply this is I'm gonna explain. So their name, and then the second parameter is gonna be styles. So simply their name is gonna be like the actual path. For example, it's gonna be like localhost 3000, and the second one is styles. It's gonna be localhost 3000/styles. This could be, I don't know, 123/styles. This is the whole idea. And then we're gonna just simply go prepend data, prepend. So this is gonna be prepend data, and then simply backticks. And then we're gonna use the same import right here, because I told you we're gonna go to every start of the file. As you see right here, I'm gonna add this to it like that. So I'm just gonna cut it from there and add it here. So now every CSS file is gonna add the import to it, and then we're gonna get the access to variables globally. So if I open right now, we're still gonna have the error because it's not. We need to run this again, because if you make changes to the next config, you need to run it again. So let me run that again. Okay, so go back right now. Okay, and as you see, it's working fine without any problem. So now you can do whatever you want with the variables in base. You can turn that to, for example, blue. Go back, okay, and refresh this, and you can see it's blue. So this is the whole idea, is to have a file that's going to be accessible in all files. And this is going to help us a lot, because working with SaaS and models is kind of very, very annoying, and sometimes we need to use files that can, you know, run across all our application without being like, you know, privately scoped in a certain, you know, file, or, you know, whatever whatever it was. So I hope you understand this. I think I did a great job. This is all for the setup. You can get the link from GitHub to have access to the finalized setup version when we done everything, and then you can start with us from the next video. Probably is going to be for the header. So see you next.